Hey guys, it's Sunmin and welcome back to Your Money Game, the show where you learn how to save, spend, and invest a little bit better towards your financial independence. So, if you've been paying attention to the news, I think for me, I've been personally quite affected by the closing of an agency that I used to be in back in KL. 20 people have been laid off. There's a magazine company that has been one of the largest in Malaysia, employing over 200 people called Blue Ink, and they shut down as well. And over here in Singapore, I've been looking at the news, and from what I read, 600,000 people had to apply for government aid in the month of April. So with all this pain that's going around, my hope is that these few videos, not only for myself, but with the guests that I'm bringing on, will provide some measure of perspective that will hopefully help you take a step or two forward. So this specific video is made for those of you who perhaps have been forced into becoming a freelancer, or you're an existing freelancer or independent consultant that's looking for a bit of perspective to break out of the funk that you might be in right now. To help me with this, I interviewed Edward Ong, who's a creative director, copywriter, and corporate trainer. He comes with over 20 years of experience in the marketing and communications industry and was the former deputy creative chairman of the 4A's Creative Council. His work experience spans the region, and he's currently based in KL running his own shop called Borderless, which has been operating since 2015. Ed shares with us some powerful mindset shifts that help us reframe the position that we might be in, and on top of that provide some advice and words of comfort for those of you who might be affected. With that said, let's get into the conversation, which has been edited to keep it a bit short and to extract the key points. But I'll also be uploading the full conversation should you want to listen to it.
There's a saying, when the fishermen don't go out to sea or can't go out to sea, they mend their nets. Yeah, and there are three types of businesses that you have to do. One is the short-term business, to get money in the short term. And then there's medium-term and long-term. So we always work on the short term. I do this project, I get paid. Next project, I get paid. But what are you doing to get business in the medium term and in the long term? Because as a creative worker, my job is to come up with ideas. But I realized that as an entrepreneur, you don't just have to come up with ideas, but you want your ideas to last 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. You want a business idea that lasts for a long time.
Look, I'm still an employee. I'm not an entrepreneur. So does this mindset apply to me?
No. If you've been retrenched, then you are technically now a business owner because you're not contracted to a boss. So if you work directly with a client, then you are a business owner.
I mean, like you, I've kind of seen both sides of the coin already. And if anything, I always thought that having an entrepreneur mindset, regardless of whether you're an employee or not in real life, is useful. And because I feel that an entrepreneur mindset thinks in terms of value, like what is the value I'm creating? And that kind of triggers a snowball of different actions, right? Like you said, your approach changes completely.
I think we all have an innate sense of skills, and I would open up, see what are your core skills. Because as a creative, my core skills is not actually writing. I'm a writer, but my core skills is not writing. It's actually coming up with ideas. Writing is execution. So I would go to the heart of it. What is your core skill? And each of us have 10, 20 core skills. The book, What Color is Your Parachute? It's a very good book that tells you that you have a lot of skills that you didn't know could be monetized. It's a magic triangle, what you like to do, or what you're good at. So what you like, what you're good at, and what people will pay you. So that the magic is in between. I like to sing, but nobody will pay me to sing. Because I think a lot of industries are changing. A lot of industries are evolving, nothing new, right? But we don't apply that thinking to ourselves. So you know that handphones have evolved from analog to digital. But what about you as a person? If you are a brand, how are your skills evolving? I think we are talking to a privileged audience, because most of us who are looking at this can evolve their skills. So if you are in that position, how are you evolving yourself as a brand? Why do you work? What is the redemptive purpose of work? Why does work exist? To put food on the table, I think that's a narrow view. Although for many people, yes, it is to put food on the table. But if you ask what is the redemptive purpose of work, it is, I think to show that this world has value, that people has value, that we can bring mankind, humanity to a great place. Okay, maybe I'm just a guy in Petaling Jaya and the person listening is somebody in some small town. But all of us have different roles to play. Look, we are all in the same body, right? Your head, your feet, your hands, legs, we are all in the same body. And the redemptive purpose of work, I think it is to bring mankind to a different place, to a better place. Yeah, well, I think a patient cannot fix himself. Lah. So, I think if you're in that negative mindset or you have just lost a job or your company is shut down, reach out to your friends. Reach out to your friends, engage them because, I mean, it takes a doctor, a third party to heal the patient. The patient cannot to operate himself. So you need a new mindset. I think, remember that you are not alone. You are in a community. But that said, you also need to take proactive steps. Go out, meet a lot of people, meet different kinds of people, and be a help. Don't just expect to be helped, but with your skills, you already have access to internet because you're watching this. You can pay data. You have a comfort of your own home, which means you are probably in the 1%. You can help a lot of people. And by helping people, I think you will be helped. I've done a lot of free work for people, and then I forget about it. But at the back of my mind, I know that free work will lead to long term, but I don't control it. If they choose to give, if they choose to return, yes. And I realized early on that when I started Borderless, a lot of clients came to me because I did free work for other people. So I did free work for person A, and then person A recommended person B. I did free work for person C during my time at YNR, and this person recommended. So it all works out, I think.